Well, here we go. Time for a gold medal match in the compound under 21 men's individual tournament here at the European Championships. It's the first time we're going to see a Polish archer on the finals range. Poland taking on Turkey. Let's go and meet those two athletes.
Representing Poland, Przemyslaw Konecki. And on target number 2, representing Turkey, Yakup Yildiz. And the round for this match is Yakup.
Like I say, first time we're seeing a Polish archer, and it's Przemyslaw Konecki from Poland. He's taking on Yakup Yildiz from Turkey, as we are now to call the country that once was Turkey. Ranked in the top 20 in the world, Yakup Yildiz from Turkey. Got to reckon he's the favourite here, Ella.
I mean, I would have expected so. He's had more experience out there. He's already been in some medal matches, so I think that will help him. But, you know, the Polish archer still made it out here in the gold. He's clearly still shooting well this week, so who knows what will happen until we see it.
We're about to find out. Yildiz on the shooting line hits the X with his first arrow.
Just the start he's going to want to really say, I'm in this, I know what I'm doing.
9.
It's a lot of confidence from him if you watch him when he shoots and just finishes it.
Well, Konecki having to find the middle of the target straight away.
9.
Impressive grouping, but just drifts off into the 9 for a 29 for Yildiz.
It's a little bit of shaking in his front arm. I think a little bit of nerves there, but he still managed to get a 10 with it.
So 2 29s to get us underway, and despite that shakiness, as you spotted, Ella, high quality, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I don't expect anything less from these guys. They're out here, they're in the gold at the biggest competition of the year. I can imagine they really want to perform and not just win, but shoot at a really nice level. And it looks like the wind's calmed down quite a lot for them as well, which should really allow them to do that.
Well, the Pole took a individual silver medal on the circuit this year. That's the European Youth Cup circuit. This, meanwhile, competing on the senior circuit. It will be Yildiz to shoot first. They're all square as we go into the second end.
A little bit confused about that one. It's a really nice response from him and definitely what he needs.
So can Konecki hold on to this lead now? He just drifted out to the left.
See a little bit of movement on the front. Still gets an amazing X for it.
Impressive stuff from the 19-year-old. Sets a 58 as the target. it's a target that's met. Both of them shooting 229s to get this match underway. There's a little bit of shakiness. There's a couple of shots that haven't been absolutely perfect, but because they're pointing in the right direction, they're getting some big scores here, but at this level, junior level.
Yeah, definitely. They're doing really well, and shaking doesn't necessarily mean a bad thing. I mean, I always think if you're shaking because you're nervous, that's just adrenaline, and adrenaline isn't a bad thing. You know, it's what makes us strong enough to fight a bear or lift a car or anything like that. It's actually quite powerful. So long as you have a really positive mindset about your shaking, you can do actually a lot better with it rather than bad. And as my coach has said to me before, just shake it into the 10. It's fine.
Brilliant. It's interesting as well when you look at Yildiz's record. European Outdoor Champion in 2021. He's got a team gold last year on the High End Archery World Cup circuit, and a team silver this year. That's at senior level. So he's used to a big game.
Yeah, he definitely is. He has a lot of experience on finals fields, and one's much bigger than this as well for World Cup medals. So I think that will make him a lot calmer and a lot more confident maybe than his opponent.
Right, shooting first. They're all square, 58 points apiece as we go into the third end.
It's a really nice start from him. He just came off his wall then when he was coming up, so he drew up, came off a little bit, and then came back, so I'm not quite sure what happened there. I think he then just rushed it a little bit when he got to full draw, and that created that 9 from the Polish archer.
Well, the quality here is great. Well, there was a bit of Bo Kondo. We talked about not working out as well as he wanted to. An 85 for Konecki to Yildiz's third 29 in a row. And he now has a 2-point lead. Did you see anything in particular with that last shot? That, I mean, other than obviously the massive movement at the end, was there anything before that that gave us an indication that
it just seemed
go
a lot
wide?
rushed, a lot more rushed than his other shots. And as his previous shot, as I said, when he came up, he partly came to full draw and then came off the wall a little bit and then came back and came up. And he seemed to then rush that shot, shoot the 9. He probably had that in his head a little bit into the last arrow, and looked like he just got to full draw and shot it pretty much immediately rather than taking a little bit of time that maybe he needed and to get himself settled.
And the way that Yildiz is shooting a 2-point lead may well be enough. 6 arrows to go each archer, though.
6 arrows to go, yeah. It's still possible that lead can switch, but with how well he's shooting and how few points he is dropping, it's a pretty dominant lead for the last 2 ends.
Time for the 4th end of this compound under 21 men's gold medal match at the 2022 European Youth Archery Championships. Przemyslaw Konecki of Poland has just dropped a couple of points to his opponent, and that is not the best start to this 4th end.
He looks a lot relaxed there with some smiling afterwards. I think a lot of pressure has been taken off him now, especially since his opponent just gave him an extra 2 points for a lead.
Overcorrection, tried to bring that one back in. This gap could suddenly look massive. It is another 10 and another 2 points gained. And you just look at that total on the right hand side, give you an indication of how things are starting to go a bit backwards and now getting blown around by the wind.
You could see he was being really hesitant on his trigger there, or he was almost going to execute and then stopped and back and forth, and I think that was probably from a lot of wind and his sight just moving around so much.
And a perfect from Yildiz. He has put the accelerator down here. he is going to be leading by quite a considerable margin. I think it's 7 points at the moment. We'll wait to see confirmation. Yildiz, he's just stepped up 29, 29, 29, and now in this fourth end with a 30. You take a look back at his shots and his smile, as you pointed out, Ella. Once these top archers are dialed in, I'm including you in these top archers, you tend then not to really miss the middle of the target. Did you just get into a zone?
Yeah, I think you do. Once you start relaxing and just enjoying and shooting how you do in practice, then you don't really miss much. It's only ever, you know, when your head gets back in the game and you realize where exactly you are in the match and where you need to, and maybe a little bit of nerves come in, then you might miss, but you're not going to miss by much, that's for sure. And I don't think this 7-point lead is going to change unless something really kind of crazy happens, maybe with the timing or something like that.
Well, the Polish contingent in the crowd trying to give Przemyslaw here a little bit of a G up. 7 points, it's not mathematically impossible. And we've seen some misses, Ella. You've pointed out that we've seen quite a few misses in the podium matches.
We have. It's definitely still possible. Anything is possible. You never know. I mean,
unlikely though with the way Yildiz is performing though, right?
It's unlikely, but at the last World Youth Championships I went to, there was a guy that was clean going into the last end, and he was worried about getting a record in a 150 and he ended up missing and lost his match. So really anything can happen.
Well, Konecki started this with the right attitude and the right performance. Gets a 10, and with that 10, closes the gap by a single point. It was 7 coming in, though. He's going to need a bit of a mistake, but good shooting. Can't deny him that. 130 is the target set. And Konecki has one more arrow to go. Back in the 10s for Yildiz.
Looked like a really nice relaxed shot from him. And there's one left, the Polish archer. Hopefully he can finish nicely.
Did he get the perfect? Not quite. Another 29, so back up where he's used to being with a 139, a 5 for the European title. Yakup Yildiz, last arrow. Into the 9 for a 28, his lowest score in the match. He can afford that smile because a 145 is what he has set, and that is enough to claim the compound under-21 men's European title here in Lilleshall in 2022.